Knowledge for Men, episode 70.
Welcome to knowledgeformen.com, where you're going to grow into the man you want to be. Your life will never be the same again. I can guarantee it. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Everything you need to create an exceptional website. It's the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, blog, e-commerce store, or online portfolio. For a free 14-day trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use offer code KNOWLEDGE, or simply go to squarespace.com/knowledgeformen. It's a great platform for anyone getting started or looking to switch over to something easy to use with a great design. Again, that's offer code KNOWLEDGE or squarespace.com/knowledgeformen for a free 14-day trial and 10% off.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. I'm here with Joel Brown. He has a longtime passion for entrepreneurship, self-development, and success. He started a website 3 years ago called addictedtosuccess.com with the intention of educating and inspiring like-minded people all over the world to strive for success no matter what their circumstances were. Addicted to Success now gets over 30 million views a year, and he's now turned down 6- and 7-figure acquisitions from investors. I'm interested in this story. I know you guys are too. Joel, happy to have you here.
Hey, Andrew, thank you for having me here, man. I really appreciate it. Love your podcast, man.
All right. All right. And Joel, we start the show with a favorite success quote of yours, something that you've lived by, and go ahead and explain why. I know this is going to be tough for you. I mean, I've seen your website. It's like you got tons and tons of epic quotes everywhere. So let's see what you got for us.
Oh, man. My favorite one is actually, if you doubted your fears instead of doubting your dreams, imagine how much in life you'd accomplish. And I think it rings really true, you know, like at the end of the day, it's only really your fear that's holding you back. And most of the time that fear is just made up. It's mental, like it's an obstacle you created in your own mind. So yeah, it's good to be aware of that and to push through it.
And I bet this quote has a lot to do with the success that you've had so far. And Joel, let's now, take us back to the early days. What was it like when you were first getting started? Share this journey with my audience here. Go ahead.
Beautiful. Thank you, man. Yeah, so it would have been probably around about 7 years back now. And I used to work in the music industry. I used to manage songwriters and producers under a major label record deal. And I was living out in Miami, in the US there. And, I woke up one day and I wasn't 100% happy. There was a lot of politics going on in the industry. And it's funny because the more I kind of got into it, the more I realized that it's a lot more about the business, the money. And I had this kind of vision or this thing about the music industry, thinking that, I had this idea in my head that it was just about the music and the talent. But yeah, it kind of changed over time. So for me, I felt kind of restricted in the area that I was in. And I just wanted to really take life by the reins and live life on my own terms instead of working for everybody else. So I left the music industry and I came back to Perth in Western Australia. Within a month or so, I actually landed a job in a sales role. But I felt a little bit down in the dumps. Like I felt like, well, what if I regretted this? What if I regretted and it was a big mistake leaving the music industry, because I got to meet a lot of talented people and, got some good connections and good experience from there. But yeah, I just didn't really know what direction I was going to go in. And the CEO of the sales company I was working for actually arranged to have Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, come down for a workshop. So I had the chance to actually meet Jordan and we got to speaking about goals and casting your vision. And yeah, he was just questioning me a lot on what goals do you have set and what does your vision look like? And he got me to kind of dig really deep and to cast a really big vision of what I wanted for the future. And I never really kind of went into it in that depth. And yeah, it awakened this kind of inspiration in me that, I love reading Tony Robbins' books, Robert Kiyosaki, T. Harv Eker, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield. So for me, I was like, I love reading these books, and I love sharing information with my friends. So if I could find a platform that I can actually share it with, not just my friends, but also the world, that'd be great. So yeah, I kind of went out on this mission to start a website, and I looked around, and to be honest, I actually started it with the intention of just making money. So it was just about making money for the first year. But as the year went on and the people that I started to meet through my website, I started to realize that it was a lot bigger than just money and just myself, that it actually was affecting people around the world. And, I get people contacting me every day saying how much I've inspired them to start up their own business, to leave their dead-end job. Some people even saying that their sites help them get out of like depression as well. So, I mean, that's pretty huge. If you can even change one person's life, like that's massive. Yeah, man, that's a journey. That's basically, 3 years of empowering and inspiring other people. So, yeah, proud to say that it's a great success so far.
Yeah, and really just the beginning. I mean, 3 years is you're just getting started, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It is. It is.
And now, Joel, just kind of looking back, did you ever have any moments where you were doing this and you were like, this just isn't working? So when did you really start to see that traffic spike and really start to see that growth come in?
Yeah, I mean, the growth was like, it spread like wildfire. Once I solidified a good community online through social media channels, it just started to spread more and more and more. Probably the two biggest issues that I've had so far was because we grew so quickly, my server kept crashing out. So yeah, and that's a big deal for a lot of people online. If you're running a website and you're getting a lot of traffic, and yeah, it's like I had to kind of look at it in a way of, well, this is an investment if I pay an extra $100 or $200 a month, just to make sure that I have a server that's like 3 or 4 times more powerful, just to make sure that it doesn't crash out. So yeah, that was one hurdle. The other hurdle was like SEO. So the algorithm's always changing. And what's funny is I actually had some competition. I don't know who they are, but I had an SEO company just have a look into it, and there was a competitor that was actually spamming a whole bunch of backlinks to my website, trying to basically devalue my website. So they were like paying for this service to have like to create all these toxic backlinks to my site. So that was something that was like affecting. It wasn't affecting a lot, but it probably dropped my traffic by my organic traffic by about 15 to 20%. And in turn, that hurts the income and everything else. But there's ways around that, man. There's you can go through services where they actually just dedicate their own time to go through deleting these toxic backlinks and contacting these other websites. So yeah, they're just two hurdles. But you know what, man? At the end of the day, it means I'm growing and I'm being noticed. So that's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's willing to spend money and time to try and take you out, then, you're doing something right. I mean, you pose a threat to their business, so you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's right, man.
And you said earlier that, the traffic was really coming in through social media. It really started taking off from there.
Yeah.
Can you share more about that?
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, it started out with Twitter, built up a pretty big Twitter following just because, a lot of people like the inspirational quotes, inspirational articles and content that I was sharing. And it would then drive the traffic to my site, and then I'd have a Facebook like box on my webpage, on my blog. So it would just kind of carry, that traffic over there into that channel. And obviously, the more people you have in your social media channels, the more they kind of retweet or reshare or like or comment on your content, and it gets shared to their friends too.
Yeah, I've seen your social media stuff. You guys, I feel like you guys may have been one of the first groups to do the picture of like a guy climbing a mountain and then like the quote, and then it's like, like really using that for social media on a daily basis.
Oh yeah. It is funny to see a lot of people doing it nowadays, but at the end of the day, like it's for everyone, man. Like I encourage people to inspire others. So I'm just happy to see that, we set the tone.
Yeah. And Joel, what kind of advice would you give to the guys listening who may have been in your position where when you were in Florida and you were working a job that, really wasn't inspiring you anymore and you felt like you could do more, you wanted to do some self-discovery? What kind of advice would you have for the guys out there who want to make that leap?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is find what you're good at, what you're talented at, but also you need to love it as well. I mean, it's so cliche, it's so simple. I know everyone says find your passion, but the thing is, like, I'm passionate about NBA basketball, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be a professional NBA player. The two have to align. It has to be something that you're really good at, and it's something that you're passionate about. And the only way that you can really find that is to be passionately curious about life and to go and experiment and try different things and really dive in, with as much passion, as much love for it as you can. So that would be my advice, really. And if you don't know what you want to do in your life, man, you just got to keep experimenting and trying new things. Something is out there for you.
Right, right. And what if some of these guys are interested in creating a blog like you have and building an audience and loyal fans and that strong social media presence that you have? And I mean, I know that's a lot of stuff, but
No.
what kind of advice do you have for guys who are interested in that kind of stuff?
No, I have no problem sharing that with you. Really, I think the thing is because I actually coach a lot of bloggers, or up and coming bloggers, and a lot of them ask that same question. It's really about finding your niche. If just know what you're getting into. Like, there's a lot of people that want to compete with websites like Mashable and TechCrunch, and I tell them, like, that's cool if that's what you're really passionate about, do it. But just know that this is the space that you're going in, and know that if you're going to compete with like a news website, that you have to be pumping out a lot of articles every day, 6 articles, 8 articles, 10 articles, and have a team of people that are ready to do your SEO and to answer the emails and things like that too. So it's really about knowing what you're getting into and just kind of finding your arena and owning it, really. So that'll be
Like finding your niche.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, finding a niche. And as far as like, subscribers and everything goes, just the idea here behind blogging is like if you want a successful blog, you've got to really create a community. And when I started to look at my website as more as like a community or a hub spot for empowering other people and sharing advice and even really letting other people come onto my platform and share their stories, that's when it really started to pick up. That's when people started to I found my return visits picked up by like 15 to 20%, just because people started to feel like there was a bit of a community there. So I think if you can really do that with your blog, you're going to go pretty far.
So you're empowering other people to join your movement and create the community and just make it bigger.
Yeah, exactly, right. And like leave comments, encouraging them to leave comments and asking them questions on your social media channels, even asking for feedback because people like to feel like they're a part of something. Even if it's like constructive criticism or whatever, it's just like people like to feel like they've kind of had some input into something. So that's always good. And plus, you get some pretty good pointers from people when you get an answer, from a different perspective.
Yeah, I think equally, even in my blog on the Knowledge for Men, I've opened it up and allowed a number of guest writers to post their content on my website, and it's definitely helped a lot with traffic and, like you said, return traffic as well. So allowing other people to be a part of your community, and instead of making it so much of a personal blog, you're creating a platform that fuels growth in other people's lives. And I think when people can feel a part of that and are contributing to something like that, it creates a much stronger community. And I'm looking at your site right now, actually, and it looks like your main revenue source is coming from AdSense, Google AdSense, which for those of you that don't know, Google AdSense is a Google ad network, basically. And so is that your main revenue stream, Joel?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it's through advertising. I'm also hosting a coaching course, like an online blogging coaching course with Mind Valley and Vishen Lakiani, which I've recently put out. It would have been only probably about 2 months ago now. So they're the 2 ways that I monetize. Eventually, we're going to go into events and other things as well in the near future.
That's good that you're doing that. I mean, because you have so much traffic, and Google AdSense isn't always the best monetizing method, but it is pretty easy to set up. So it's good to see now you're doing courses, you're growing, you're branching out, and you're going to be doing speaking. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, you got it, man. Definitely. That's the idea. And like this is a perfect platform to be able to reach millions of people. So it's a good way to start promoting for events, and it's all coming together. It's part of the budget for next year, so there'll be some Addicted to Success events just around the corner.
And I hope they're not just all in Australia. You come over here stateside.
Oh hell yeah, definitely.
All right, looking forward to that. And you mentioned earlier that you went to a Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, one of his events, like one of his personal development or sales events, and that you had an encounter with him, and that this was kind of like an aha moment or a turning point in your life. Can you break down what happened there? What did he tell you? What was that conversation?
Yeah, so he originally asked me, Joel, do you have a goal? And I said no, and he said, great, neither do I. And I thought that was kind of weird, someone that's pretty successful like him, he didn't have any goals. And he said, look, goals are good for short-term achievements, but you need to cast a vision. And if you're thinking big already, you need to think bigger. And yeah, he just kind of got me to really write it out, like day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, how I'm going to get to this end goal, and to just fill it with as much detail as I can. And the more detail I can put into it, the more likely I'm going to get there. And it's not like this, not so much like law of attraction or anything like that. It's kind of like, how you're going to feel when you get there, and what are the colors in this vision that you have, and like just really putting a lot of detail into it so that it kind of breathes life into it. And it's cool because, I never really looked at, setting goals is something that I learned in high school or junior school or college or whatever you call it out in the US, right? And
Yeah, college.
and they just kind of, yeah. So they just say, like, write down 3 things that you want to achieve in your life, and that's your goal. And that's pretty much all that I've ever kind of known. So yeah, to hear a different way of doing it, and something that I found so like profound and so effective, that's when it really changed the game for me. And that's all thanks to Jordan.
There it is, Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Impacted both of us. And so is Addicted to Success, is it just you? Or do you have a team behind you in like an office? What's the team? What's the structure look like?
Yeah, like 95% of the work is actually myself. And my partner, my fiance, Charlene, she helps out with, some of the social media and also answering some of the emails as well. So that's pretty much it, man. It's pretty close to like a 1-man and 2-man band with the website.
Yeah, man. Know how it is. I know how it is. I would think, all the traffic you're getting, that you would have this huge, at least like a VA team around the world.
Oh man. Yeah. I looked into it actually. And I think I tried out like a couple people actually. Yeah, there was like two people out in like Delhi, and yeah, there was communication problems. Like we couldn't understand each other, and the expectations were crazy because like they just couldn't really deliver the work that we needed. And I just kind of got sick of it and went back to just running the show by myself. So but I've got to give respect also to the guest bloggers as well. We get a lot of guest articles that come through. So there's a lot of with that though, you've got to filter through a lot of the content, because there's a lot of people that just send you articles because they want to pump up the SEO.
Yeah, they want the backlink.
So that's a process. Yeah, exactly right. So that's a pretty long process there. If you've got 10 or 20 articles a day that are coming through, and you've got to read through all of them. So
man,
yeah, pretty tedious.
So about how many hours a week does something like Addicted to Success take you? How much time are you spending a week on this?
So I'd say you're looking at around about 36 hours a week. And that's more so, you're looking at probably about 40% of working on the content, and 60% will be, or like 50% will be marketing, and the other 10% will just be kind of like the back end stuff. So, making sure like plugins are up to date and emails are followed up, and interviews. Like I'm really big on doing interviews lately. I've been able to line up interviews with a lot of successful people and interesting people. So that's something that can be time consuming. As you know, like if you're editing, audio recordings or video recordings, like that's probably the most tedious part of it all. But it can also be really worth it too.
Oh man, you're telling me. This is what I do, is the whole interview thing, and so talking to the guy right here.
Oh man, much respect to you for being able to stick that out.
All right, Joel, let's now jump into the knowledge round. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Well, you'll see, Joel. Are you ready for the knowledge round?
Fire ahead.
Have you ever tried to set up a website and just give up? Did you get overwhelmed? Was there just so much content available that you just put that project aside? Well, Squarespace makes it easy to quickly get a professional site up and running so you can focus on doing the things that you like doing and not coding. Squarespace is constantly improving their platform with new features, new designs, and even better support. They have beautiful designs for you to start with and all the style options you need to create a unique website for your personal taste and brand. It's incredibly easy to use, and if you need support, I know Squarespace has an amazing support team that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They even have a great support team with over 100 employees. I guess in New York City, the office has been codenamed the Care Bear Lair. And that's not it, guys. You can get started for as little as $8 a month, and this includes a free domain name if you sign up for a year. It's a great deal, and that includes hosting, you guys. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your site. So your content will look great on every device every time. That's really big, guys. Mobile is the future. If you sign up for Squarespace, make sure to use offer code KNOWLEDGE or simply go to squarespace.com/knowledge for men to get 10% off your first purchase and to show support for Knowledge for Men. Welcome to the Knowledge Round, where the guests will be asked rapid-fire questions to give the audience invaluable pieces of wisdom to help transform their lives. Starting in 3, 2, 1, showtime.
All right, Joel, how would you explain success to a newcomer, someone who's, really trying to make it happen for themselves?
Yeah. So for me, I'd say that success is subjective, right? So just everybody's definition of success is different. And for me, it would be to live your life as comfortable as you can and to be able to empower and inspire others to live the ultimate life or the life of their dreams. So yeah, it's different for everybody.
I like that. And what advice would you give to someone who's feeling lost or unsure of their purpose in life?
Yeah, I'd say, like the answer that we had earlier in the podcast is just really find what you love and what you're good at. And if you don't know what that is, just keep experimenting. Life is full of crazy experiments. So be part of it and go really deep with it and squeeze the juice out of it.
And was there anything that was holding you back from becoming the man you are now today, Joel?
Yeah, the little voice in my head. I call them ants, annoying negative thoughts. And it's just, everyone has them. And it's funny, the more successful you become, the louder those voices get, but you just got to own it and tell it who's boss, So it's really about pushing past the little negative thoughts and just know that, what's going to come out of it at the end of the day is going to be a lot bigger than sitting back and letting this negativity get the best of you.
Oh, I've never heard of this ants. Yeah, is that something that you came up with?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna have to trademark that. That's got to be in your speaking gigs coming up.
Oh man, I have to.
All right, and can you go ahead and name a person who's had an impact on your life? Someone who's been a mentor to you. What did he or she say to you?
Yeah, I've had multiple people that have really inspired me to push forward in life. But if I could really say one person that stood out in person that I met was Gary Vaynerchuk. And he taught me a bit about self-awareness and just kind of knowing what you're good at and what you're not so good at and then acting accordingly. And yeah, just not about kidding, don't kid yourself. Don't try and be somebody you're not. And to learn to love yourself as well. And that way you can offer so much more value to the world by giving as much as you can of yourself to the world. So major influencer is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V with the jab, right hook.
Yep.
And speaking of books, Joel, what are your 3 most influential books and explain why?
Oh, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I don't so much read books, like paperbacks. Let me have a think about that. So The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. That's a powerful book. That really changed the way that I looked at making money. It changed my whole perspective on wealth and how to value it a lot more than just paper and what you can use your wealth for. So that'll be number 1. Or, Tony Robbins' audiobooks are incredible. I can't read his paperbacks. You just don't get the same effect or the same feel from his paperbacks. His audios.
Yeah, he's got so much energy in those audiobooks. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're like there live.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, 100%. You got it. So you've got that like kind of electric energy coming through when you're listening to him and his audio, and he's got such a powerful voice, which really just like motivates you. And he says like, I'm not a motivator, I'm the why guy and this and that. But like, man, his voice motivates you, that's for sure. And the third book would be Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. So that's the one that really kind of opened my mind to putting my passion out there. So I've read that. I actually read that book. I didn't just listen to the audio. I actually read the book and listened to the audio for Crush It, and that's what really inspired me and pushed me through, starting my blog as well. So that came at the right time. So pick those books up.
And as always, guys, you can pick up one of these books for free if you go to kfmbook.com. You can pick up Awaken the Giant Within with Tony Robbins, or Crush It with Gary Vaynerchuk, or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind with T. Harv Eker. If you go to kfmbook.com, you can get one free audiobook. And Joel, another scenario here for you. If you had 60 seconds with your 20-year-old self, what would you tell him to do, and what would you tell him not to do?
Oh man, I would tell myself, take more risks, because at the end of the day, it wasn't really that bad, was it? And I would tell myself to invest more, not just to invest more money, but to invest more of myself into everything that I do, whether that be life, relationships, and business.
Yeah, that's good. But do you think he would actually listen to what you just said?
Probably not, man. I'm kind of ignorant.
You're like, who is this guy? I'm telling you, man. I'm from the future. I'm trying to help you out.
Oh, man.
And what would you tell him not to do? What would you tell him not to do?
What not to do? I guess, like, just don't try and impress everybody. Like, there's no reason to impress everyone, and that don't try and be anything other than yourself. I think that's a pretty big thing for a lot of people, is putting this kind of mask on. So yeah, don't keep that mask on. Take it off.
Yeah, very good. And do you have an underrated characteristic that you think if every man would work on this, they'd see huge results in their life?
Underrated? That's a great question. That's a really great question. I think everyone has the capacity to love, and I think that you need to learn to love more and love fully, not just relationship wise, but just to love what you're doing. And seeing the good side of everything as well, not so much complaining about everything. So yeah, that'll be the underrated characteristic that I think really needs to be amplified and put out there a lot more.
You think people are holding it back, or maybe like they're not even conscious of it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people let a lot of bullshit get to them, man. I think that's what it is, and they kind of forget the simple things, and people make their life a little bit too more complex than it has to be, and therefore you start to become unhappy. You don't have that balance in your life. So you got to create that balance and learn to love what you're doing a little bit more, and have a bit more gratitude for what's going on.
Oh, and just to summarize some of the main points you've shared with us today, what's your philosophy on life and success, Joel?
I believe that we only get really what we believe that we deserve. So if you can raise your standards, you're going to receive such a better outcome if you really lift the bar in your life. That's something that I would leave with everybody is just keep raising your standards and keep believing that you're worth it.
Well said, Joel. And that's going to conclude the knowledge round right there. So what's exciting you today? Like, what's getting you out of bed in the morning, Joel?
Well, what's exciting me today? I'm taking a day off, so I'm not working on anything today. I'm gonna go out and connect with some friends. Actually, I have this new business project, or this new business venture, which could eventually roll into a TV show out here in Australia, like an entrepreneur show. So I can't say too much about it, but I'm going to be interviewing a lot of successful people, and we've got a lot of big major sponsors that are going to be part of this show, and we're shooting a pilot for it very shortly. So we're in the creative process at the moment, doing some brainstorming and coming up with the whole structure of the show. So that's something that's really exciting me today. I can't wait to get to this meeting and to really just brainstorm it out and see what we can create.
Wow. I mean, I'm picturing what this would look like and how big it could be, and it could be huge. I mean, how do you put yourself in an opportunity where you can get your own pilot TV show? And what happened there?
Yeah, well, it's funny because like my friend, we've been friends for like something like 12 years or 14 years, so we've known each other for a very long time, and he's very super successful. I think he's worth like their company's worth like 200 million or something like that, and he's at the point where he's done everything that he can in his arena, and he's like looking for a way to encourage entrepreneurship in Australia, and he sees what I'm doing. He's seen me grow. I've seen him grow, and we've always seen eye to eye on a lot of things. And we've always, every time we catch up with each other, we're always bouncing these like crazy ideas. And the cool thing about him is that he always follows through. Like if he comes up with an idea and he says, "Yeah, this is what I want to do," he's not this guy that just says it. He actually walks the talk. And yeah, when we kind of bounced this idea off each other not long ago, he said we're going to do it. I got excited because I knew for sure this guy was going to follow it through. And he's well connected in Australia. He knows a lot of people. It's about who you know as well, which helps. And yeah, man, I put it all down to connection, like having connection with people, man, like network and meet people. I know this guy, I've known him for like 12 years, and some people you might meet like for a week and they can change your life. It's crazy, like I don't turn down a lot of these offers to go to like networking events because I've met so many amazing people, but the thing is, you've got to ask people, what's your story and what do you do with yourself, and share ideas all the time, man. Like talk about ideas and talk about interesting things. That's how you take your life and your connections to the next level.
And there's always something about a guy who's full of integrity when he says he's going to do something, that he's actually going to get it done. And he's the type of guy that typically says no to a lot of things because he's really focused on accomplishing that one thing. So when he said yes to you, you're probably like, oh my god, like this is really going to happen. Really exciting. Versus the type of guy who says yes to everything and invests himself like 10% in 10 different things when you should really focus on like one thing and go 90%, 100%, go all in on that one thing and just crush it.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to like, this is the thing, because I get a lot of people that tell me, like, oh, I set these goals but I can't hit them, and I'm like, well, don't set a massive one that's like unreasonable for you to hit. Like set a small one and then another one and another one, and like my whole life, like people see what I've done now, but my life, if you look back to like when I was like 6 years old and when I was hustling chocolate bars to save money to be able to buy like Space Jam poster and NBA basketball cards and things like that, like my whole life has been about platforming, like using one thing to get to the other, and just like being resourceful, and when you achieve like a small success, then you're going to be amped up to hit that next success and the next success. Yeah, man, addicted to success. That's really how it is.
Yeah, and then what happens is it becomes fun.
Yeah.
And it's no longer work anymore. I mean, that's the whole point of like all of this and like where I'm coming from. It's like, guys, like let's figure out our path, our purpose, our mission. And when you get that, it's like you're not working. I work crazy hours, and sometimes I'm working 7 days a week, especially in the beginning. And people ask me how I'm doing it, or it discourages a lot of people from starting something like this. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not working. Like you view it as work because it's not your thing. But to me, this is my thing. Like this is it. Like I'm so stoked that I got it, and it's I'm not working it. It's addicted to success.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. It's a video game. It really is. I tell people all the time, man. It's like you just platforming from one thing to another, man. Each achievement, you get to that next level. You look back on like where you were at the start. You've grown. You've gotten bigger. You know the game a little bit more for every platform that you hit. So yeah, man, video game. Just think video game.
And Joel, you played the video game Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
You're like, come on, what is this? Everyone plays that. And so yeah, I used to play that game, and I have a similar analogy where it's like, when you're playing that game, you're fighting, you're playing, and then you die. You're taking all this risk. You're like jumping over buildings. You're like trying to kill all these guys. you're taking massive risks, but when you die, you're not scared because you know that you're going to be able to try again. You're going to be able to
Yeah,
respawn and try again and go after those guys. And that's like life. It's like when you try, you take risk. You're jumping over buildings. You're taking these leaps in life. You're taking massive risk, and if you fail, it's not that big of a deal. You just start over and you try again, and you just keep going. You try again. And over time, what happens is, like you mentioned, the video game, you just start leveling up and you just start gaining more experience and you start dying less and you just start becoming better. You just start really understanding the game better.
Yeah, exactly. And don't pay attention to the failures. Like, pay attention to them in a sense of like learning from them. Like, they're the resources that you use to really push on and know like where not to go wrong on the next step. But yeah, man, just like focus on the successes. Like when you hit them, really like appreciate them and really celebrate the success, and then just keep it moving.
Yeah, very good last little bit there. And that was the rant with Joel and Andrew. And go ahead and give yourself a plug on how the audience can connect with you.
Yeah, no problems, man. So I'm on Facebook. You just type me in, Joel Brown, Joel, and then Brown. And I'm on Twitter as well. You just type in Addicted to Success. And yeah, we're all over the place. You can also check me out at tribelearn.com, which is the joint venture that I have there with Mindvalley. And for those that don't know who Mindvalley are, they're actually they're the number one marketing and online publisher in the personal growth arena. So they market a lot of coaches and like spiritual experts and wealth experts. I think they inked a deal with T. Harv Eker. I know T. Harv Eker has some coaching courses on there, and who else do they have on there? They have Eckhart Tolle, quite a few fitness experts and that as well. So yeah, definitely check that out, tribelearn.com. It's something that's it's a new platform and a new model, and it looks like they're going to have a lot of really awesome coaches and peer-to-peer learning environments there where you can join the community, right? And then you can learn from one another, and you can kind of blog together, or you can learn how to coach together, or learn how to be an entrepreneur together, whatever it is. I think it's a really effective way to learn, to be part of a community where you're all heading in the same direction. And that's what Tribe Learn does. Yeah.
All right, and we'll conclude here. And Joel, just thank you for coming on the show, sharing your story and your life lessons with my community here. I value your time, so thank you.
Thank you for having me here, man. More power to you too.
All right, and that's going to conclude episode 70 with Joel Brown. And the challenge item that I have for you guys today, which is a big challenge. I don't know if I've said something this big in a while as a challenge, but it's if you're in an environment that's not serving you, it's to leave that environment right now. Yeah, so that's pretty big. And that could be in a bad relationship. That could be in a job that's not serving you. There doesn't look like there's a big future prospects for you going on there. Just like in regards to what happened with Joel, is he was in Florida and he was in the music industry, and it wasn't quite serving him the way that he thought it would, and he left. And because he left and he went over back to Australia, he started his thing, and he definitely discovered himself and built his brand and built his business. And now he's doing amazing things. He's serving other people, and he's really passionate about the work that he does. So if you're in a position and you're doing something, or you're with someone, whatever it is, and it's no longer serving you, I want you to end that. So that's either quitting your job or even making that leap and traveling to another city to begin anew. And so I don't expect all the thousands of people just to quit their job. But I know that there's one person out there who is listening to this and is going to take this seriously and maybe got the kick that he needed to go out and make that happen. So if that's you, I definitely want to hear from you when this happens. So just give me an email at andrew@knowledgeformen.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And for the rest of you, keep crushing. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Knowledge for Men podcast show. It's been a pleasure having you be a part of a thriving community of men who want to crush it in all aspects of life. I'm on a mission here to inspire millions of guys, and with your help, we're going to make a dent in the universe. Check out knowledgeformen.com for a ton of free content that's designed to help you live a remarkable life. Again, that's knowledgeformen.com. I hope to see you there. And always remember, 2014 is the official year of the crush, where we take action to get the life we've always dreamed of. This is your host, Andrew Farabee, and until next time, let's do it.